Hello. I am now psychologically sober. I finally am not whatever was wrong with me when I was making my last two videos. I'm still tired though, so this may be like just as disjointed as usual. Cause I'm kind of always tired, but I'm also not. Like, even when I have energy, I'm tired. But anyway, it's finally time to talk about a little facet, a little bit, a little portion of Black trauma that I don't know if anyone else is feeling, because I haven't asked about it in specific. But I do get the idea from the other Black people that I talk to within my communities that I am in. And at this point, it feels genuinely to me like I am just macrodosing or microdosing, either one, depending on the day and what I am consuming. Shit that induces psychosis within me. Like, I can't. There's so many things on the internet that are just the idea of racism that, like, floating in the background, haunting me like a specter. It's like a sleep paralysis demon. Like, you can look away, but it never really goes away. It's just outside of your peripheral vision. It's just a shadowy figure. And if you like tried to point at it and point it out, and I don't know, if you told someone it was there, they wouldn't see it and you would look fucking crazy. Sometimes, I would say most times at this point, just because of how condensed social aspects and like interactions are on the internet, because there's so many things on it. It can even be your own people, my own people, Black people denying that these things exist and denying all of it because maybe they're less online than I am. It is usually that, probably. But if they're just as online as I am, they're probably denying it because they're a coon. And when you encounter that on top of just the Walgreen brand, run of the mill, but still very, very toxic standard racism, it drives you insane. It's been driving me insane, and I feel as if it is blocking like just certain ways of thought and actions actively in my head as like a protective, like I am blocking them as a protective mechanism so I don't have to overthink about it. But I think honestly I should have just made this video sooner. There is shit like, it's really just manifestations of all of the old tropes, all the old colonizer tropes. There's digital blackface, there's digital minstrelsy, which is kind of different. It can be either white people, like, parading us around, stealing our bodies or voices or aesthetics or reaction images or whatever. And it can also be, and often is at this point, the digital jesters that are Black people playing up like racial stereotypes and ethnic stereotypes that were put onto Black people by white terrorists. And they are indeed terrorists. I don't want to call them white supremacists anymore. Maybe if I can find the video that I got that term from, I probably can. I think it's a great term because it is psychological terrorism being inflicted on us, and it is also very physical terrorism, especially lately with all of the like Black death happening. There's been, I believe, multiple murders of Black children. Done by both cops and just random people, like a random Asian guy who got off with it, was found not guilty. There's been obviously the attempted one with Chud the Builder. That fucking guy attempted to kill a Black veteran, which I don't know if it's that necessary, but it feels necessary to me. When I say a veteran, I do not say that as like a way to grant respect to the title of veteran. I grant respect to the person because, I'm sure they did it out of some kind of like maybe he just kind of drank the poison of U.S. propaganda and joined, or had no choice due to systemic issues or whatever. And I'm very empathetic towards that struggle. But the title of veteran going to like take the lives of minorities abroad, it is not meaningful to me. But anyway, it is everywhere I go, there's something just like turning me away. There's the fact that every genre of everything is stolen, co-opted, whitewashed. I want to say, like, Asian people are a big perpetrator of it too, with like anime and games. Like, for example, something I've been meaning to talk about for a long time, but just haven't really wanted to put it all together yet, is Hoyoverse and their games in general, honestly, but because their games are literally ethno states of white characters, even though they're supposed to be like Chinese developers, and that's just a whole fucking rabbit hole on its own. And they do a lot of like trying to represent black culture, but on white characters or Asian characters, instead of just making fucking black characters, instead of just getting black people to voice act them, instead of appreciating our culture like they say they are, but really they're just stealing it, etc., 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 etc. I have so many examples. There's even something like this that I'm currently like investigating, basically. It's this phenomenon I have seen in the underground rap community, where essentially they're just every kind of like non-black person. Maybe that's not fair to say. At least white and like Latino and other kind of like European mixes of people just colonizing the genre. They're very much just being culture vultures, and they are in this subtle way that ties into like what I'm saying about psychosis, faking things like black sins. They have these stupid ass profile pictures that are like kind of ambiguous, but there's shows that I have seen black people be very nerdy and into, because they're interesting shows, and there's kind of a part of nerd culture which is very whitewashing of itself, which I'll probably make a separate video about, but maybe not. I definitely will. It just feels like being black on the internet in general is witnessing everything about you be pulled apart like fucking Laffy Taffy candy and then stuck to some pale bitch. Like it's a feeling so torturous that I try to explain like decently often, I think, and people just nobody gets it. It's so very isolating. I do have a few friends now, like recently, that do understand it. I'm very thankful for that. But it's like I can't keep offloading all of that onto them, because they understand and I understand. So, and that's great. But also, it's still gonna bounce around in my head because it's still happening. And I personally am a nerd, so I'm gonna be kind of surrounded by it, especially not by choice. It really, because I'm a nerd, it doesn't mean that I like love white culture or anything. It really means that I moan and bitch about having more representation of us and myself in the media that I consume, because it just should be there, honestly. It's maddening. It's maddening. This might be like kind of the end of my rant for now. I just needed to say something for now. I should add. I wanted to add at the beginning, but I didn't because I was like, maybe I should just not. But listen, I know that the last two videos I made were about Oliver Tree, but I need to address the elephant now. Oliver Tree is honestly just an example that white mediocrity exists, and it gets you very far in life. I understand that he wanted to claim the title of ugly, but he really just isn't ugly. I'm gonna be real. He's just a very mid-looking guy with a unique haircut that is probably considered ugly in the white community, but they consider anything ugly that is not like, I don't know, some really stupid hunter eye, cantal tilt, whatever the fuck bullshit, eugenics, clavicular dumb shit. So I never got that part really. Never thought he was ugly. Never thought the way that he dressed was like necessarily ugly. I just thought it was stylized. And the characters he played were, I don't know, they definitely portrayed raw emotion, and all of the things that I talked about in that video, those videos I made, were genuine. But I think even though I was so tired, I was kind of subconsciously operating on the idea of like inflicting the same kind of, torture onto any potential white viewers that viewed it, that, they would to me, by making a joke out of it multiple times. Because it really is both that I feel. It really is that like this guy, his message was genuine, but honestly, the things that he wanted his legacy to be were kind of the bare minimum. And that's awesome, but I'm not going to applaud him for that without also getting my jabs off, I guess, for the fact that it's really never that serious. And I'm going to be real, white culture will not miss this guy at all. Like, in a sense, I almost felt like saying that the reason he felt neglected was because white culture is neglectful of anything different, and it kind of just leaves everything hollow. They make fun of everything like that. It's like, maybe in some sense that is why he felt so empty and so misunderstood, or whatever the fuck, if that was even the case, because he was just kind of born in the wrong body to have empathy given to him by any significant amount of people, at least at a surface level. So yeah, I made those videos because it was all on my mind, and it was all like just something I wanted to do, and it didn't really matter how I performed, but I did want to like just, I don't know, just say that. That's probably, it really is. I'm gonna, yeah. Oh yeah, I just didn't want to be on camera, that's why. No, I did. Did I say that earlier? I don't know. I did want to go and like record in my usual spot. It's like midday, like earlier than midday, like 10 a.m. It'd be a great time to do so. I just didn't feel like getting up though. I have like shit to draw and and work on otherwise. And now this video is not going to take very long to edit, but it's something. And I got to eat. And like I said, tired. Yeah, that's it though. If you like this video because you like my voice or something, don't subscribe, don't comment, just I don't know.
This state I was in, I was what?